about small business and how they can adopt various things around AI and automation to help them with time. So there's an actual paradox when it comes to AI. A lot of people say they want to use AI more, but they don't have the time to actually invest in learning about AI. And they're just too busy to actually, to dedicate any time to learning more how to use it. So AI can save you time. If you use the tools right, you can definitely get efficiency gains, you can scale up, you can do many different things. But if you're not using it on a regular basis, it's going to be very difficult to get AI to save you time because you're just not learning it. You just aren't familiar with it enough. So this is the paradox that I find many people have. They want to use it more, but they don't have the time to learn it to use it more. So I'm just going to show you a couple of things today which will maybe help with your being able to use it in a more efficient way. So we're going to give you a couple of fast wins, going to give you a couple of demos, and just give you some ideas of things you can do over the next couple of weeks. So AI adoption is rising. A lot more people are using it now across many different sectors, especially in marketing. People are using it a lot in content, and it's best to use it with sort of safe, simple tasks. I very much encourage people there's an expression called human in the loop, which is, I never encourage people just to use AI. The worst thing you can do with AI is say, like, for example, you're writing a blog and you say, I want to have a blog on beekeeping or whatever the subject is. And then you get the result from AI and just posting that on a blog site. It's the worst thing you can do because the results will not be very good. So human in the loop means you might ask initially a question of AI or something like ChatGPT, which is what most people know. Other ones that are very popular are Gemini and Claude. But you don't just take the answer that you're given. That's more like using a Google search engine. You have a collaboration, you have a conversation basically with the AI. So you give it the initial idea and then it suggests something, and then you refine that and you go backwards and forwards, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and you're much more likely to get not only a better result, but more human sounding rather than AI. Because I don't know about many of you, I can always spot something that's been written by AI immediately. It's so, there's various signs that just, you can see this has been written by AI and no thought has been put into this apart from giving it a subject and AI just spat out something. So if you were to do 15 minutes a day of trying different things, and I'm going to show you a couple of things now, just building that consistency would help you get more confidence in using it and give you ways of helping you in your business. So there's 2 workflows I'm going to show you now. So we're going to do something with Google Gemini. I don't know if probably everyone knows ChatGPT. Google Gemini is essentially the same thing. So I'm going to show you a couple of things with Gemini, and I'm going to show you something with NotebookLM. I don't know how many of you are familiar with NotebookLM. It's an amazing tool, which you're going to see in just a couple of seconds, and we'll take from here. So let me go to, we'll start off with Google Gemini. Right, so let's pick, I need a guinea pig for this. So if someone wants to raise their hand, if there's something, who's got a business has anyone got any research they need to do in their business? Because I'm going to show you a quick tool that can help you. Right, so Julie, I can see you got your hand up. So Julie, give me what is it? So you do about networking, and what else is it you do?
So I do a couple of other things. I'm an accountability coach and I help people show up online as their authentic self.
Okay, so if you were to do some research at the moment, what would it be on?
We have a visa that's really easy for Americans to move here to the Netherlands, as you can imagine what's happening in the US right now. So I would love to find out how I can reach those people while they're still in the US and connect to them online before they actually move here.
Right, so I'm gonna get Gemini to do a deep research prompt on helping people in the US move to the Netherlands, is it?
Yes, that's correct.
So, I mean, normally I would go much deeper because to get good results with something like deep research, the more context you give it, the better result you're going to get. But that's obviously going to take more time, and we haven't got a lot of time. So I'm just going to do a very basic one. And so in the tools, I'll just click on this deep research. With Gemini, you've got these different options. You can create videos, create images. Many of you, or some of you may have heard of something called Nano Banana or Nano Banana. You can create some amazing images with that. Canvas is something else. They've got this great learning thing as well. But for this, we're going to use deep research. And this will probably take a couple of minutes, and it will give some basically some, it will go through and search probably around 20, 30 different websites. Depending on how much information you ask in the initial question, it could search 200 different websites and come back with a really detailed report. One of the things I often do with it, I'll show you while that's working, I'll just show you, I'll open Gemini again in another screen. And can you see this screen I'm on now? Or do you
Gemini
see?
still, like the search, yeah.
So I've just moved to another tab. So can
I
you
think
see?
we can see all your tabs. So you
fantastic.
can just,
Okay, right.
perfect. Thank you.
So for example, what I would normally do if I'm doing some research with deep research, I've got something called Text Expander, so I would just go AI deep, and it brings up this prompt. I don't know if you can see the prompt. And then, so say for example, I was doing a research on health coaching. I remember someone was mentioning health coaching. So I would need to answer all these questions, and it would enable the deep research to give me a really detailed report. So now it's going to ask me a few questions about what is it that I'm actually wanting. So it's going to refine the focus. It really needs to get the context so it can give me a great result. So I've said begin context is listed as just as health coaching. What specific aspects of health coaching are we researching? So let's just put sleep. I mean, it is a very basic answer, and then it's going to say, so it's just going to ask me a series of questions so it really understands the context of what it is. So, well, who is the audience for? So I'll say for my clients who want to improve their health and especially sleep. So it would probably ask me one or two more questions so it understands. So that's the audience. What's the intent? So what's the primary goal? Am I creating a new research program, coaching program? I'll say I'm writing a blog post series. And it'll probably just ask me one more question. So it's got the information it needs. So I use this thing called a casino prompt. C stands for context, A is audience, S is the scope, I is the intent, N is the narrator, and O is the outcome. By having all this information, it enables me to get a really good report, basically. So now if I put that into deep research, that's going to give me a much more detailed report than the first one. So in the meantime, I'm going to go back to the one I was searching on before. So you can see so far it's gone through 111 websites. These are some of the websites it's going through at the moment. We're about 15% of the way through, so that's going to take a while. So as many of you probably watched Blue Peter when you were kids, so I've got some reports that I've already created rather than waiting all that time. So I'll show you a report I created before. And this is, I was I thought that Shona would be here today, but it doesn't seem that she is here. But I did a report for Shona, and this is on her business about tendering. So I put in a report, I put in a search asking about people who might need tendering. So it came up with this digital footprint of opportunity, strategic analysis of UK small business tendering. And these are some of the frustrations that people have who might be needing help with tendering. And you can see it's a pretty detailed report. There's many different pages. So from that report, I then created something in, this is NotebookLM. So let me show you the opening screen you would get in NotebookLM. So NotebookLM allows you to do many different things with different sources. It could be Google Docs, it could be PDFs, websites, YouTube. So let's just take that report that I did for Shona. So it's this one here. So I've now loaded that report. So I could have a conversation with anything in this report. So I could ask it, who needs help with tendering, which is a really stupid question, but let's just see what it says from that. And it's going to go and look for things that were found in the report. So it's given me an answer here. But say I want to get a summary of what was in that report. So you can see here there's these buttons in the right of the screen, audio overview, video overview, and so on. If I go to the one I've already created, so in this, or this is a video overview, which I did for Shona. Now you should be able to hear this.
All right, Shona, welcome. We've put together something really special for BDS Solutions. Think of this as your strategic playbook. We've done a deep dive, analyzing exactly where your potential clients are hanging out online. And
right, so I won't play all that because it will go on too long, but you can see we've created a little sort of 8.5 minute video, basically summarizing what was in that report. And then I also did an audio one, but this is much longer. This is about,
that's the value proposition right there, isn't it? So
this is about 38 minutes, which goes really in depth about some of the things that are in that report. And either of these two things could be downloaded onto your, so I often do things like this, and I download them to my phone so I can listen to them when I go for a walk or if I'm cooking or whatever the case might be. And then you can see here there's many other things that you could do. You could have multiple sources here. I've just put one source here. So say I wanted to get a lot more sources about tendering, tendering for projects in the UK. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. I probably needed to give it a better description, but let's see what it comes back from that. It will come up with many other sources that I could include. So here it's given a few different things, public procurement and so on. So let's just import all of those. So it's given me another 10 documents or whatever it is, 10 different sources. So now when I ask questions, it won't only include that first report that I did for Shona, it has all this other stuff as well. And then from that, I can create things like I can create a report, I can create a study guide, for example, I can create a mind map, flashcards if I want to learn something about a particular report that I've done. And you can see these three things are generating right at the moment. And when one of them finishes, this is the mind map. So that's based on all those different sources that we saw before. And if I want to get really granular on something, so I clicked on that one, and it's going to go really into depth on that particular strand of the mind map. So this is NotebookLM. I realize I'm going quite fast for some of you. In the Q&A in a minute, if you need to ask me some questions about this, feel free. And let's just see if that report I did for Julie, if that's finished. No, we're about halfway through that. So I'll send you the report later, Julie, because I don't think we're going to be finished before the end of this meeting. But so that's two things I've just shown you: how to do a deep research using Google Gemini. You can do the same thing on ChatGPT. if I open a window in ChatGPT, and you would just click on the plus sign, and you can see deep research, and you would do exactly the same thing. You just give it a detailed question about what is it you're researching, what is it you want much more information on, and it will give you a really detailed report. So that's deep research, which you can do in ChatGPT, in Gemini. Some of you might know something called Perplexity, which is specifically built for things like deep research. And then Google NotebookLM. This is free at the moment. This is completely free. This, you can see the sources here. You can have up to 50 sources. And as I showed you before, the sources could be from Google Drive documents. They could be websites. They could be YouTube videos. Or you can just simply paste in text. So you might have some documents or you might just paste some thoughts. You might just start typing, I want to know more about blah, blah, blah. And you just start typing some stuff in here. And you have all these different documents, and it allows you to do many different things from these documents. So let me go back to the presentation. So that's a few things that you can do to improve your knowledge and use of AI. Let's see, I don't know how we're doing for time. Email is, if you've got long threads, do many of you spend a lot of time on email on a daily basis? Do you spend like half an hour, an hour? I can see a few people nodding their heads. AI can be great for summarizing long threads. If you have a long email thread, you can just get it to summarize that whole thread and then get it to draft a professional response. What I would usually do when I ask it to draft a response, it gives me back that response, and then I would, the human in the loop stage, I would go and tweak that so it sounds more like me. But you could also make it sound more like you by giving it more context. So in a, actually that's going to take too long. Basically, you just give it some examples of your writing, of the sort of the way of other things that you've done, emails that you've done, blog posts that you've written, articles you've written. So it really understands how you talk, the kind of language you use. And then you can get things to sound much more like you. And we'll just finish there because I think I know there's going to be some questions and I don't want to take up too much time. So yeah, if we just go into the Q&A, and has anyone got any questions on any of that or anything to do with AI and automation in general? Michael?